I'm Herbal Gamer Louchien, and today it's time I think we took some deep breaths and tried to de-stress. It feels like every day there's another possible global shattering event, and while I'm not saying to ignore anything, I do think it's important to find your peace and time for yourself to de-stress, which for me has always come from gaming. So today I give you my top 5 games for de-stressing and just finding that chill vibe. These are all games with what I consider to be a slow burn and have personally enjoyed at great length. There will be a different flavor for each one of these games as well as different genre. Hopefully, you find something new to try, or just a game that's been sitting in your maybe pile and this pushes you to giving it that chance you always wanted to. So, at any rate, let's get started. Monster Sanctuary. First up, we have a little gem called Monster Sanctuary. This is a monster collector type game with a Metrovania style twist. If you're unfamiliar with the terms, Monster Collector would be something like Pal World or Pokemon, where your main feature is collecting various monsters to battle against other monsters and or trainers, catch all the creatures, do battles, go to the next biome. While the term Metrovanian style game refers to gameplay that has an interconnected world where players unlock new areas by acquiring new abilities like double jump or fly or grappling hook or wall break to overcome previous obstacles, emphasizing backtracking and discovery, returning to an area that you couldn't get to in your previous run. This game has so much charm once you get into it, though, featuring a 3v3 style battle where you'll find a bit more tactics at play with team compositions and skill tree builds. You have rare mini bosses called champions you track down to increase your rank or fame, if you will, and there's a narrative that goes along with this with a decent plot. Fun emphasis on exploration, not just for hidden loot, but for looks, areas, and new monsters to catch as well. If you want to sit back and collect your dream team, I'd say give this one a try. Satisfactory. I feel like I'm showing you crack with this game here, as once I got into it, there was nothing else I could think of but working on my factory. This game is about automation, and ripping a planet of all its natural resources. Anyways, if you're not familiar with the term automation games, it's a genre focused on building systems to handle repetitive tasks, letting the players design complex self-running factories or processes so you don't have to do that yourself. So you're basically making everything more efficient as you progress through the game. So to give you an idea there, you basically build a machine that, let's say, makes steel, then the next machine uses that steel to make another product, then the machine after that uses that product to make another, and so on and so forth to get some end result. There's a weird zen-like feeling you get when you have this massive factory doing a zillion different tasks all just perfectly in sync with one another. The game has you fulfill milestones, unlocking new recipes and machines while you explore this beautiful open world, dealing with the local wildlife, though you can turn that off if you just want to focus on exploration without the hassle of being attacked. So while there is some narrative to the game, your only real guidance is from the company's artificial directory assistant. There isn't much more, as she really only speaks to you when you unlock a new milestone, but the banter and one-liners are great and make you look forward to the next. If you like the idea of exploring while you're building this crazy efficient factory, check this one out. Soulstone Survivors. This is a game with a bit more of a fast pace, but still lets you turn off your brain and just chill out, which I love about it. It's a bullet haven survivor type game that has you go through multiple levels with the goal in mind to unlock the next soul survivor, and boy, there is a lot of them to unlock. Now, Bullet Haven is a subgenre where you unleash massive waves of auto-attacking projectiles, overwhelming enemies instead of dodging them like in traditional bullet hell style games. It's defined by a simple movement, collecting power-ups, and enhanced auto-attacks, and usually a satisfying feeling of becoming very overpowered, exemplified in other games like Vampire Survivors, which really made the genre popular if not creating it. If you're like me, you love having multiple characters in any of the RPGs that you play, and in this one, you have so many to play around with. It is so much fun. Each of them have their own weapon skills, passives, and skill trees. I dig the art style as well. I found it easy to lose myself after a rough day of work in this one for hours and hours. And if you want to see yourself become a walking god of death, then give this one a look-see. Against the Storm. I adore this game, as it was honestly what got me into city builder games. In Against the Storm, you venture out into the world under the order of the Queen to explore and conquer the new lands, and it really just kind of opened my eyes to the genre. If you're unfamiliar with the genre of a roguelite city builder, it blends traditional city building, which is like resource management, building placement, population growth, with roguelite elements, meaning each playthrough or run through the game, it always is different due to procedurally generated quest challenges and other features like permadeath, but with permanent upgrades as well, like meta progression that, or I guess you could think of it as account wide progression that makes future runs easier, creating this loop of learning, dying, and improving your core settlement. And you just kind of keep getting a little better each time. But oh man, it is super fun once you get into it. The game has fun exploration mechanics where you discover new glades and see what rewards or misfortune wait in the darkness. It had a great art style and a chill soundtrack to go along with the fantasy world. The story is minimal as it really comes from the events that transpire as you play. You deal with in-game events, deadlines, and the rainy season, which is the hard part of the game, to keep your colony alive. I personally went from thinking I would never be able to get into this style of game to having the door open up to me and what I was missing out on. If you're looking to lead a city to adventure for the Queen or break into a new genre you haven't tried yet, then this one you should definitely pick up. No Man's Sky. Last on the list, but not least by any means, is No Man's Sky. I am not sure what I can say here that hasn't already been said a million times in a million videos. It's the comeback tale of the century, where a game launched to backlash, poor reviews, and more problems than we care to count, but through blood, sweat, and dedication, their development team has basically brought this game back from the brink of death, if not dug it out of the coffin, and it's just been a crazy story to read from start to finish, and they're still updating it. Now, this is one game that took me a few tries to actually get into it, but when it clicked, oh man, did it click. No Man's Sky is a vast, procedurally generated science fiction sandbox game focused on exploration, survival, trading, and combat in an infinite universe. If you lit it, it can really just suck you into it, and that feeling of being alone deep in space that weirdly gave me this calm feeling whenever I would play it. There is a story here, but it really doesn't hold your hand that much or guide you much, so it really is on you to decide how much you want to get involved in that story or just focus on collecting and exploring. The base building for both the on planet as well as on your freighter in space are great, and being able to show off your finds and things that you've come across is always fun. There's ship collecting, which is especially fun with sentinel ships since they're kind of randomized a bit, and it can become quite addicting quite quickly. While there is ground combat, and it's alright, the space combat is where the game feels better and embraces the story. There's also pet collecting, which is a fun little side thing to do, but if you feel like exploring the galaxy and haven't already, give this one a chance. So what did you think? Well, this is my list. I am curious on what your list would be. Do we share any of the same favorites? I know there are a lot of other games out there that offer a low-key vibe that I just haven't played yet. And just let me know in the comments what your chill go-to is, or if we, both share one of the favorites there. I hope this list helps someone out there, whether it's your own worries or others. Remember to take a deep breath and just do what you can in the time that you have. Take some time for yourself, recharge for the next day, the next week, or the next event. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.